Welcome, everyone. We're just going to do our 5-minute countdown. This is part 3 of the Dennis and Peggy Kowalczyk story. Wisconsin courthouse corruption. We have some updates for you. The pre-trial scenario, there was an update today about that. So we're going to get into that and tell our viewers and update them on what happened today. We got some interesting evidence that shows them contradicting themselves when answering calls and then doing the opposite of what they're saying when it comes to the public record. So we will get into that. And, you're hearing it first here on News for Us World's special report. So we will begin here in about 4 minutes and 20 seconds. What were we talking about earlier, Joanne? Or about yeah, you didn't know about they could do that, prevent you from sharing stuff out. Well, they're doing it to me again. I didn't get but maybe 3 or 4 groups down the list, share it out to the groups that they before until they freaking started that shit. Just had it happen. So yeah, there we go, folks. You can just see that they're right there. Anybody that's done any podcasting work on this and it has been shadow banned by Facebook, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well,
Yeah. That in itself tells you everything you need to know, folks.
yeah.
It's all right, Facebook. We don't need you. You're not our sole platform. We have multiple others that don't censor, so this information will not be silenced. So nice try, but it's not going to work. And Facebook, just so you know, what Musk did to Twitter, I'm going to do to you. That's coming. So just heads up. They're fucking with me being able to turn on the digital camera again. What the heck? On the oh my god. Okay, we're continuing to go. The countdown's still at it's 33 seconds. I'm just gonna shut down OBS and reboot it and then hopefully fix it.
Catch.
You know, these bastards are stopping me from being able to do it through OBS. They're really trying to stop this shit. It's not working now all of a sudden. That's funny. It's okay. We don't need it though, because I'm just going to switch over to Zoom because we did our intro we don't need to do it this way because we're just about to go on camera anyway. So
We
yeah,
will not be
okay,
silent.
exactly. Cause it doesn't matter, cause I'm moving forward. There we go.
Amen.
Round them up, let's go. Round them up, let's go. That should be a rallying cry to everyone.
Yes, it should be.
There we go. We're back. We cannot be silenced, folks. So there we go. All right, so we are going to begin. I want you to tell Peggy to tell us, our viewers, give us an update on what happened. You had a pretrial, a virtual pretrial court hearing that was scheduled for tomorrow. Last we heard from you guys, and what happened since then? Tell our viewers what happened, and I just kind of briefly get into tell them and what they did, and then kind of tell them about what you and Crystal did to try and call them out, and basically literally calling them. And then we'll segue into that audio and then show them the evidence of them clearly contradicting themselves from what they're trying what they're saying is the case. So there we go. We have got the evidence, folks. We're going to call it out. So go ahead, Peggy. Unmute yourself.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know what's going on here, but something real funky is going on here. You know, to give a little backstory, my last hearing was what we call a status hearing, and that's where they set up my pre-trial and my trial dates. My pre-trial was set for the 8th of February at 1:15, which we were advertising for, you know, court watchers to come in and watch court for me. Everybody knows about that. And my trial dates were set up for the 21st and the 22nd of February. Well, in the meantime, I put in a motion because we all know that at the pretrial, that's where you obviously you present, you know, you present and I'll find my words, sorry, I'm very tired. It's where you present
Take your time, you're
evidence
fine.
that you have, or where you wanted to dispute evidence that the state has against you. And I had tons of evidence in this case. All the charges are bogus on me. I have evidence of that, and that's what the motion, 30-something page motion that I put in to the judge and requested that him and the DA, you know, consider this motion. And obviously I need to extend my trial dates. So I put in for that affidavit, sworn affidavit. And also, it also had the abuse of my child, Dylan, in it as well. So I was informing the judge of the abuse of my child, informing him of the abuse still going on of my child, and putting in a sworn affidavit to, you know, lies that were told to get these charges upon me of abduction of my child. So I was informing the judge basically. Well, the DA moved to seal that affidavit, and the judge, I believe from what I can tell, accepted that and sealed my affidavit to present any of my evidence to prove my innocence of the abduction of my child they're trying to charge me with. So I got to get up to where we're at now. My pretrial is tomorrow, right? Well, in that hearing, in that status hearing, the judge told me, he says, Peggy, he says, I want you to call my assistant Paula before this pretrial on the 8th. He says, I don't care if it's the morning of, as long as it's before. He never told me why I was to call her, but he just told me to call her. So I did that on Friday, this past Friday. I called Paula, his assistant, Judge Metropolis' assistant. And I said, Paula, I said, this is Peggy Kowalczyk. I said, Judge Metropolis ordered me to call you before my pretrial. He did not tell me why I was to call you, but I was to call you. And her next question to me was, well, Peggy, do you have a lawyer? And I said, no, ma'am, I don't. I did not hire a lawyer. I said, the judge is aware of that. He's many times questioned me in court in the past 2 hearings, and I very well told him that we didn't intend on hiring a lawyer. I had to be pro se. They've sucked me for every penny I've had in the last 5 years. There's no way my lawyer just dumped me on my butt. I put in a complaint on him. He sucked, me of thousands, and he abandoned me in court, and he basically screwed me, So the judge was very aware that I was pro se. I've been pro se since September when I fired my lawyer, when I realized he told me he couldn't win in trial. He had me for a year and a half, and then he told me either deal or I can't win at trial. He was singing a different song, so I had to fire him. I'm not pleading. I'm not guilty. I'm not changing my plea. We are going to trial, and nobody's offered me a deal. So today I called Paula to get the number and the pin to my court hearing tomorrow for my pretrial. And she informs me I didn't need the number. And I said, excuse me? She says, we already had that hearing. We didn't need you. She says, we're going, your trial dates are set for the 21st and 22nd. I'm like, wait a minute. I said, you guys had court without me? I said, I didn't get to go to my own pretrial. She says, well, did you read your notifications? And I said, no, ma'am, I guess I need to. And so she didn't explain to me, and so we hung up. I was in shock, So I went to my CCAP. Obviously, that she told me there must be a notification there for me, right? There was nothing there pertaining to them canceling my pretrial or having my pretrial early or going ahead. There's nothing there. You see, my date was scheduled for the 8th, but there's nothing after that other than the judge sealing my affidavit. So now I don't even get to present my evidence of them, the lies they told to get these charges on me. I don't get to prove my innocence. I have evidence that I turned into the court that they had sealed. I don't even get to appeal that decision because I didn't get to go to the hearing. Well, she claims that when I called her and told her I didn't have a lawyer, that waived my right to my pretrial hearing. I'm like, what? I've never heard of such thing.
Nor have I, and that's completely. There's no way they can fucking construe that.
Why would I waive my
improper.
right?
There's no.
Why would I waive my right to that pretrial hearing? I've been.
They know, and they know you've been filing pro se for a minute, so they have that on record. They know this, so why would they act like that? Is the question? Why are they acting like they didn't? They just found this out. That's what we need to be asking.
Why would they even schedule the pretrial? I've been pro se since September, and you can bring up my CCAP now. It says that I was pro se in September, and they scheduled this pretrial on the 30th.
Yep.
They sent out notice. The last notice they sent out my pretrial hearing was on the 30th of January.
So I'm thinking we should probably have show our viewers the affidavit first. I think that would be better in this as far as the timeline, because you did. Because I think that would be good because that's kind of the start, and then we'll get into the audio, and then we can.
I don't understand what's going on here. I really don't.
I think we'll do that.
This is malicious prosecution. There's so many questions in what they've been doing.
Mm-hmm. So what did you and Crystal do today after you found that out? So tell our viewers what you did after finding that out.
Me and Crystal's been working together for a while, as everybody knows. We advocate for parents and children in the same situation that my family's been in, because there's a lot of it going on. I mean, there is so much of it going on, and there's been nothing that I can do to help my kids because they've kept me so handcuffed with, and bound with helping my kids legally prosecuting me, for trying to help my children that, I've been trying to help other families and children. So me and Crystal's worked together for a while, and when she found out what they did, she made a couple calls to the DA and to the courthouse, and she wanted some answers on why I didn't have my rights to go to my pretrial and present my evidence, and question the judge and appeal his decision to seal that, and they've sealed records before. They sealed the victim's statement earlier on in the year. My lawyer didn't even argue that. Well, if anybody knows who the victim is, it must be my son, since I abducted him. Why did they seal his statement? Well, everybody want to take a guess at that? Probably because he told them I didn't abduct him and he loved me, and that they've abducted him, not me. You know,
it makes sense. Yeah,
so
it would be consistent with what what from what I could tell.
why would you
some of the
seal a
audio.
witness
Right.
statement? If
It
they've
doesn't
been
make any
abducted,
sense.
you
They're
definitely
covering something
would
up,
not
folks.
seal their statement.
No, there's no
You
reason
know,
for them to
my
seal
lawyer-
that unless they're covering something up. Obviously.
Yeah, my lawyer did not even appeal that decision. Neither did my husband's lawyer. You know, they just let this court do what they want. Both
They
of our
do.
lawyers, my husband
They
had
do.
to cop to probation, you know.
Could I say something quick?
Yeah, go ahead. And why don't you tell them about what they put you through today? That would be important for context, because I think it shows the depth of how far they go to make this
It's
impossible.
absolutely just draining, Steve. I mean, you know, these people are trying to really kill me. I mean, you know,
They're trying to wear you down.
I
Yeah,
can't
no, they're
even-
totally doing that.
And see, our lawyer's been telling us this whole time that we can't present this evidence from the family court about our children's abuse to defend ourselves. Well, we don't understand that. And that's the reason I fired my lawyer, is because he said, you know.
Right. Well, they're acting under color of law. Their courts aren't legitimate courts.
I mean, why don't I have a right to say
and they know
what
it,
happened
and they know
to my
it.
child?
That's why they're doing that. Yeah.
That I was, you know, protecting my child, that it's not abduction. This is wrong.
It's wrong because they're case fixing. You can't ignore the evidence of one side and then have an impartial and fair trial or hearing on any of
They're
this.
taking lives here.
They're trying to persecute her because they did their due diligence to evidence and they have the proof, and they're trying to persecute her and silence her the same way they've done that with many others.
You know, I used to believe in the justice system, Steve. I did too. Before this happened to my family, I thought that the justice system worked. I did. I thought that, you know, if you didn't do nothing wrong,
I was one of those too. I believed it too.
Could prove that
until they did what they did to my mom with the medical.
What they've done to me, my family, what has been going on? We've been locked up, abused in jail. Our children have been abused. Nobody will listen to us. You know, they won't even let me prove my innocence in court. They're blocking me, and they still are holding my son hostage. He's nearly 20 years old.
Yep.
Well,
you know, I mean, it's
why are they coming after you guys so hard for this? Which doesn't make any sense.
We don't know. We're nobody, Steve. We built our life around our children.
Well, Steve,
we basically
that's what
our
users. That's what our viewers need to be asking, because think about it. With what I've seen, all pointers indicate
we're
that they're trying to cover
nobody.
up their own crimes.
Well,
we can prove that we kept our kids at the zoo. We kept our kids at the museums. We had yearly passes. We can prove all this to our bank. We were so busy with our kids that I'm guaranteeing you, I don't understand what we have done except for we had 5 special needs children. That is the only thing. We have no criminal history. There's no reason these people have targeted us and are taking our lives. They're taking our lives. They're killing us.
They do this to many families, folks. They destroy families doing this to good people that don't deserve it. They're doing this to a good majority of the percentage of cases. The statistics are telling us that there's 80% that aren't even legit cases. That's how bad it is.
It is horrible. They are targeting. They're not discriminating on nobody at this point, Steve. Anybody.
Dennis,
anybody.
No, they're not. Dennis.
Nobody.
Can you tell our viewers what they put you through today when you went to go see your PO, and what happened?
Oh, my husband, when he went to go see his PO.
If you're feeling up to it, Dennis.
Well, yes, Steve. I went yesterday, and they scheduled me for first time to see my PO officer. And for me, I have to take transport. I'm legally blind, and we don't have a vehicle due to all this corruption. It drained our money counts, and struggling just to make ends meet and stuff. But I went, it's an all-day trip. I went out and they scheduled me on my PO's day off. I got there and they're like, I'm here to see my PO, and they're like, well, she's off today. So I wound up having to redo it all again today. And it just takes up time. It's difficult.
They're literally trying to kill us, Steve.
Yeah, you know, they're same thing. They're doing the same thing to my mom with the medical fraud that she's going. They're going, oh my God, you have no idea. I could tell you some horror stories. I'm not quite ready to reveal any details just yet for certain obvious reasons, but you know, they're still at it. Like they're covering up so much. It's so evil, and I mean, we're still facing, you know, that kind of freaking, you know, where they corner you and make it impossible for you to get any kind of service. It's like where you only have any choice but to go through them, but they're the ones engineering the whole situation, are responsible for it in the first place. I'm dealing with that from the medical aspect, with the insurance companies in the hospital records. They never sent reports that my mother had wounds when they sent her home both times, and there's a lot more than that. So I know, and then there's just all the shit she's had to go through just from not being able to have her bed was having issues. They had to replace it. They gave us it took us a week to get them to finally come out and replace the bed. And she should have had it that day.
Just horrible.
Yeah.
Steve, you'd asked me what we thought the reason was for this.
Yes.
There is a company called St. A's in Wisconsin, and they have monopolized the foster system. They hold they hold ownership of most of the group homes and foster homes.
Yeah.
And our son was severely abused and traumatized emotionally and physically in their group homes and foster homes.
Mm-hmm.
So two homes. So if this gets out, the press coverage and stuff could be a major impact.
Well, yeah, I mean, just the fact that that we are covering it, and you know, I want to emphasize, folks. It doesn't matter that the whole purpose that I'm doing this and still covering this because I want it to be on record, and this is our way of ensuring on the internet and through other there's a public record somewhere, so public and independently documented, because these bastards are going to pay, and we're going to make sure that they do, no matter what.
Absolutely, and I want everybody to know
that are doing the work, and we're gonna make sure these bastards are held accountable under the law.
And I want everybody to know that you have record of everything that we have.
Exactly.
So that is great. You know, absolutely great. We have
we
several
have
copies.
Evidence. They have copies.
Yep.
Okay.
We have several copies all over the place, and we won't mention those names.
Exactly.
Well, this is a good lesson for the people watching out there who are having the same issues. And it's all about saving your evidence and getting it out there.
Yeah, and send several copies to several people because they can snatch it back. I watched it right before my own eyes.
Oh yeah,
I was literally
they're scrambling trying to interfere with us, like, because they can't get up in my shit because I got my shit locked down because I'm a specialist in cybersecurity, so they don't know who they're fucking with, but they're trying. They were making it earlier, so I couldn't use my virtual camera through OBS. It wasn't working. I couldn't get the thing to work. It was like glitching out, and then I stopped it, and it wouldn't let me restart it.
I didn't believe it at first when people told me that.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I thought, oh, you're tripping out. But let me tell you, me and my sister were literally reading something, and it disappeared right before our eyes. I'm telling you. And it was happened to be a text from one of the foster parents that texted her. My son's foster parent texted her, and he lost his composure, and he thought, oh crap, let me take that back. And he darn sure did. He took it right back. We were reading it. Yep.
Wow. You saw right before your eyes. When I first started covering this issue, it was about probably in April of last year. I literally had two people remote into my system and were controlling my mouse. I caught him both times, but I never moved so fast in my life, but I caught it. And I think I scared the shit out of him. I was like, I've told the story on many times on the air, but for those who don't know, I basically got up, and when I seen the mouse move, I scrambled to I brought up notepad. I said, "Who the fuck are you?" And then I said, "Don't think I can't see you." And then I shut my shit down. I did that twice. It happened twice. The second time, I think he got scared because I caught him because he wasn't expecting that, and didn't get fucked with again. But that's definitely
save
going
that
on because I've
sucker
seen it for
quick as you
myself.
can.
I saw it for myself, folks. I can
Yes,
confirm
sir.
this.
On top
Save it
of-
as quick as you can and send it to as many people as you can before
Mhm.
they can do it.
Yep.
Because I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it can be done. I've
I have
watched it.
I have copies that are independent from Google Drive and all that shit, and it's in my my storage that I use is encrypted. So
Right. It's crazy.
Well,
let's
see,
shall we read the affidavit that we got
Yeah.
up here? All right. So we took this affidavit from the original for the purposes of making the screen reader just make it so we don't have to worry about selecting anything, and this will just read all the text that was in there, and it's exactly the same as the one we had before, which is right here. You can see for yourself, folks. Just briefly, come on now, pro se, defendant, and then we got same thing here. We'll have both. We'll have links for both for in our sources section after the show. I'll put up links for both so our viewers can check it out for themselves. But let's read. Oh, where's that coming from? Okay. All right, we're good. We're gonna read it.
Yeah,
now.
this is the affidavit that I put in to the judge to notify the judge of the abuse of my son and the lies that the state told to bring these abduction charges on me.
Now pro se defendant Peggy Kowalczyk
that they sealed.
Sorry,
So-
go ahead. I didn't mean to push. I didn't mean for that to
No,
start.
that's
I was trying
okay.
to zoom in and it started on its own.
That's okay. Go ahead. I was just trying to explain what this was.
the court to accept the Come now pro se defendant Peggy Kowalczyk moves the court to accept the attached affidavit and supporting documents. Said documents had numerous errors and false events which catastrophically affect the defendant's case. Defendant prays that the said affidavit of the defendant's testimony gets reviewed by the judge and DA prior to a trial, being the tainted evidence has already been submitted into discovery. The following statements are derived from the attached documents. All of the information in said affidavit can be found in the current discovery. Being there is far more discovery than what is presented that the DA intends to argue at the pre-trial conference into admissible evidence for trial. Defendant requests a new trial date to finish going through the response to the rest of the discovery because my previous attorney was grossly negligent in bringing all of this to the court's attention. Also, all parties have brought previous family court issues into this case that I am being forced to address to have a fair trial. 1. PK and DK are whom DTK knows as his parents since birth and his whole life. PK and DK had full legal custody and care of DTK up to the age of 18. He was made a ward of the state illegally because the courts never had a hearing on the legal paperwork possessed by 05 VCF THE Kowalczyk. The only two ways to void the legal custody and care documents were a court hearing to prove unfitness or the birth mother giving written notice. Neither happened. 2. Information on the placement of DTK with PK and DK was fully divulged to Waukesha County DCFS. It was backed up by the birth mother. And phone numbers were given to Alachua County DCFS, which did a home study and background check before placement of DTK. There also was a paternity acknowledgement signed by birth mother and DK. There are also hospital records showing his release to PK and DK from the hospital right after birth. The legal paperwork was accepted in Florida, Alabama, Michigan, and Wisconsin for schools, hospitals, businesses, Social Security, and the U.S. military. 3. DTK had been alleging physical and mental abuse since October 2018 till recently, 2022. Documents confirming the abuse have been sent to the DA and are currently in discovery for this case. Multiple credible witnesses in these documents in discovery confirming his abuse include a mental health expert, family visitation specialists, a highly decorated disabled veteran, foster children, a social worker, and school workers. There are more credible witnesses not being allowed to testify. 4. On the current charge of attempted abduction, A police report by Officer Zeman stated that PK was arrested and charged for the incident that occurred on March 23, 2020. That never happened. She was not arrested and charged until the 9th of December 2020. Medical records will show from February 2020 to the beginning of April 2020, PK had a 19 hours life-threatening cancer surgery removing a tumor, her anus, and rectum. She was cut from her throat to her pelvis. She remained in the hospital for a week with complications. Was sent home and bedridden for weeks with an undiagnosed severe MRSA infection gotten during surgery and was hospitalized again. When the infection was found, it had grown to a softball size in her pelvis. She had nurses come to the residence twice a day to drain the tubes and care for her. The nurses came from surgery to April 2020. There is no possible way PK would have been physically able to have sought to try to abduct DTK on March 23, 2020. Let alone drive 2+ hours to get there in her condition. 5. On police videos in Discovery, Officer Dankowski and foster parent Don Davies on police videos stated that PK and DK did nothing wrong to have an injunction. The injunction was issued because we were not DTK's biological parents and they were, quote, sick of our BS. Outagamie DA is concerned also, and I tried to push through a more substantial felony charge for stalking but statute-wise it did not make it. Officer Zeman. He also stated in the DA referral report for March 23, 2020 stated that an arrest warrant had been issued for PK and the case was closed with an arrest. There was never a warrant issued for PK, nor an arrest made for the incident. PK was never even notified of the pending situation. Why is PK currently being charged with a felony for March 23, 2020? 6. Fort Walton police report states that DTK was arrested as a runaway and that PK and DK were arrested in Mississippi. Why was DTK arrested if he was abducted? PK and DK were never arrested on that date. On the public record, it states that an arrest warrant was issued for PK and DK on the 9th of December 2020.
Okay, so we're going to get into the audio next, and then after we play the audio, we're going to look at the public record, and then I think that was pretty much what we had talked about. So okay, and then I'm going to let you guys point out on when we go over the public record where it changed. Okay.
Can I add something real quick?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I just wanted to let the viewers know DTK was our son. And
that's their son's
Is our
initials.
son.
Yeah, and then PK is Peggy, of course, and then DK is Dennis, of course, Dennis Kowalczyk, and then Peggy Kowalczyk. So that's those abbreviations are standing for those individuals, folks. That's what the context is there. Thank you for clarifying that. It's important information to know, just in case our viewers will,
Right.
yeah, because I don't think
it
normally in a legal document like that you specify it at the beginning, and then everywhere else further on furthermore in this document this person will be referred to as such and such therein.
Yeah, they've been really strange with how they're wording stuff in this whole court hearing.
Well, no, there's it's called legalese, and it's kind of like an art. Actually, you kind of like have to know how to do it, and it's fortunately I understand. I don't know how, but I do have a knack for it. So I do legal paperwork on the side, so I'm very, very actually pretty good at it. I've been told. Anyway, so it's kind of like it is kind of like an art, though, almost if you think about it.
What's funny is they moved to seal these affidavit with the proof that we had, but yet I don't know how they're going to keep it out of court because they might have sealed the affidavit statement, but we stated in the affidavit that all the evidence is in discovery, current discovery. So it really was pointless for what they did.
Right. Okay. Are we ready? We're going to listen to the audio. I'm going to start off with, I think, your call, Joanne, the one you had made, or the first one we had planned on putting.
That Paula, this is the call. Judge Metropolis's assistant called me back because I called and left her a message because she told my husband I waived my right to my pretrial.
Okay, and this all happened today, and we found this out, and this is when you called her back,
So she was calling me back.
Okay, here we go. All right, cool. Let me make sure I'm sharing my sound. We are. All right, cool. Come on, play. There we go.
Hello. Yes, Paula. Okay, okay.
On February 1st, you called me and you told me that you are not going to be hiring an attorney.
That's correct.
Your case is still scheduled for trial. The judge scheduled your trial for February 21st and 22nd. That remains on. And you are going to be representing yourself. Your hearing notice for the pretrial conference said, if you look at it on the bottom, it says, call me or email me with the status of your case anytime prior to February 8th at 1:15.
Right, which we spoke of when I called you on Friday. I said the judge ordered me to call you. No, you saw. I did.
Exactly what you told me.
That's right.
Take care of your pretrial conference.
No, ma'am, that does not waive my rights to my pretrial conference.
That is in place of your pretrial conference.
What is in place of that?
Your phone call on February 1st.
So how did my phone call on February 1st saying that I do not have a
That
lawyer,
is
which I informed the judge of
incredible
many times
how
during the
brazen they
court.
are.
All I'm going to say is take a look at first.
So how did my phone call on February 1st saying that I do not have a lawyer, which I informed the judge of many times during the court?
All I'm going to say is take a look at your hearing notice. On the bottom, it tells you what to do. It's very clear.
It tells me that I'm going to trial and that you told me on the phone today that you had the pretrial hearing without me and that you didn't need me in court on pretrial. Is that correct? She just hung up on me.
Unreal.
Claiming that you waived your fucking.
No, she's claiming that when I called her that it waived my right, saying that I wasn't going to have a lawyer. Well, the judge knows I wasn't going to have a lawyer, that I was pro se.
Correct.
I've been pro se since September.
Okay. But yeah, there you go, folks. And they know this.
See, the judge told me to call him, but he didn't tell me why. He told me to call Paula before my pretrial, but I didn't know why.
That
He
was
never told
clearly
me
a
why.
setup. They can't do that. That's
Clearly.
entrapment. That's entrapment.
And when I called her on Friday, she didn't tell me I waived my right to my pretrial. She just asked me to have a lawyer. I said no. She
They didn't
said okay.
notify
I'll
her.
pass
They didn't
that
even
on.
notify her. They just went and declared, oh, because this means this. They didn't even give her proper notification. You can't do that. That's
Yeah,
completely
she
improper.
just said I'll pass that on to the judge that you don't have a
Completely
lawyer.
improper.
I said okay, but he knew this because I told him several times.
What they're doing, folks, is they're trying to get their consent and they're acting as if they got it, but they really didn't. That's coercion and that's entrapment, folks.
They don't want me to represent myself, Steve,
Exactly,
because they know
that you'll
truth.
expose it. Exactly.
That's
And
right.
And they don't want it to
These
go to trial because
lawyers,
then all this
every
will come out
lawyer
in
that I
discovery on the
get.
record.
Now, this has been going on for 2 years, and
What's
these people
the-
don't even have criminal intent on me, okay?
Right,
They don't
right. I
even
know,
have enough charges.
I know. I'm seeing it in many cases. So what's the next one? What next one we're gonna hear? I think I got them in order. But you guys will tell me. So what happened, Crystal? You called these places, right? So that's what we're gonna hear next is Crystal and Crystal.
Yeah, Crystal called, to find out if she could get the information because we felt like, well, God, I don't want to be in contempt of court. Somebody keeps saying we do have it. Somebody keeps saying we don't,
Well, yeah, the DA actually it said that the trial conference was still on, which
Right.
Interesting. That's contradictory. So why would they not be able to say? Why would they do that intentionally? Because they all work together. So why?
Right, because after she told me they had it without me, Dennis called her back and she told my husband I waived my right to pretrial. I'm like, what? No, I did not.
Yeah,
So
they
then
didn't even notify you what was going on. They completely tricked you.
No,
That's
they
completely
didn't.
illegal.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
All right, so
Yes.
here we go. We're gonna play the first one. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna play one by one, and after each one, I'm gonna have you guys explain what the context. Because I'm not. I think I got the order in sequential and chronological, but I'm gonna let you guys be the judge of that, and you can explain it because you guys were there.
Calling the Outagamie County District Attorney Office. Thank you for calling the Outagamie County District Attorney Office.
So this is Crystal calling the DA's office.
Say that one more time.
This is Crystal calling the DA's office in Outagamie County.
Okay, gotcha. All right, cool. Thank you.
You can also email the attorney's office directly at outagamie.general@da.wi.gov. For victim witness, please press 1. If you have a question for the diversion coordinator regarding a treatment court and/or a deferred judgment agreement, please press 2. Speak with the receptionist or any other call. 3.
I'm fixing a fucking post all over Facebook because all my followers need to know.
District Attorney's Office.
Yes, I need to speak with Julie Marie DeQueen. She's the.
Who's calling?
I need to speak with the special prosecutor.
Who's calling?
I would like to speak directly with her, please.
And what is your name?
I'm calling about a case number.
Okay, what's that case number?
2020U003961. It's about Peggy Kowalczyk. I need to speak directly with her, please.
And what is your name?
I need to speak directly with her about the case.
Okay, so I can't put you through to her because you won't tell me your name. I don't know if you're a party that's involved in the case.
Well, I'm involved with the press, and you're failing to due process, and you're violating her rights to be heard. You're canceling out and just taking it straight from pre-trial. You're trying to, bring it straight to trial without having a pre-trial behind her back, without denying her the right to be heard. You guys are failing to due process. And I need to speak directly with her. This is going to be reported to the bar, the Judicial Conduct Board, and then some. And this will be publicized. You guys will be held accountable. I just told you I'm with the press. Go to NEWS4US.WORLD. You're already out there. All the evidence that you guys are trying to jail an innocent woman, it is out there.
Okay.
You guys are already exposed. Yeah, so I'm just letting you know that you will be held accountable. You will be held accountable. You are breaking the laws and violating this woman's rights to be heard. She is a pro se litigant. You have no right to have court behind her back and then bring it to trial and try to throw her away when she did nothing wrong. She has the right.
You can look on CCAC for the hearing notices. And you'll be able to see that.
I don't know what kind of games you guys are playing, but she has an email stating there is no pre-trial for tomorrow.
And what is your name so that I can put you somebody?
Okay, so now you're saying that there is a pre-trial.
On CCAP it says that there is.
Okay, well, the press will be there tomorrow. We look forward to seeing you. Thank you. You got it? Yep. Hold on, let me turn my recorder off.
Now
Okay, give a little more context for our viewers. What happened there?
This was after Paula told me and my husband both that I gave up my rights to pretrial and that we were going on to trial and that they had pretrial without me. And Crystal called the DA's office and you heard her say what says on CCAP that she still has pretrial. So this, so Crystal ended up calling, I believe, the courthouse and the DA back. She wanted to, she made a couple more calls concerning it because we couldn't get a straight answer.
Okay, so this is the first of those set of calls then, correct?
Right. We didn't know if they were going to claim that I didn't show up to court because she's right. It was
no, that's what they do. They will do that and they'll trick you into not showing up thinking you don't need to. And then what they'll do is they'll try to use that against you.
Well,
seen
she's
I've
right.
seen
It still
I've
even
seen
says it on there now, Steve. It still says pretrial conference on the 8th.
Interesting. All right, so you're gonna show me where that is after we go through the audio, because I want to
Right.
point that out to our viewers too.
Yeah, it don't say it's canceled or nothing, you know.
Okay.
This is the next one. It's 4 minutes long, so this is 3 of 4. The second call set that Crystal did. I'll let you tell our viewers with the context. Just let me know when you want me to pause it. Hey, just pause it, and then you can tell it what it is, and then we'll finish it, and then you give them some more context, like we just did with the last one, guys.
All right. Okay, this is going to be the most important one. Okay. I can't go if you don't give it to me.
Thank you for calling the Outagamie County District Attorney Office. Hi, yes, I called earlier and I'm calling because I'm being referred back to you now from the courthouse. So, I'm just trying to get straight to the point. And I need the information to get into a virtual court pre-trial for tomorrow. How are you connected to the case? I'm with the press, and you're being recorded. So I need that information for Peggy Kowalczyk's case, please, to get into the case tomorrow. I don't give public information. Okay, this is public information, and the court is sending me to you. Like, the public has the right to know what's going on. So I just want to let you know. Information is listed on CCAP. You can get your information. No, it is not listed on there. There is nothing listed on there there is no information that leads you to get into your court case. There is not. The information that's on CCAP is what is public. So if it's not on there, it's not public information. Court hearings are public information. Under your amendment. If it's on CCAP, then it is public. So, okay, so you're trying to tell me that it's not for the public to know. Information regarding court hearings is posted on CCAP. No, it's not. That's why I'm calling you, because it's virtual. We need the information for the pretrial, because you claim. Right. Earlier when I called, they claimed that there was a pretrial for tomorrow. Now you're telling conflicting stories. Your office and the court are telling conflicting stories and lying, saying that it was not. Is your name Christina? No, my name is not Christina. Okay, what is your name? My name is irrelevant. I'm asking you to tell me how we can get the information, and it's not at the CPAP. No, that's not it. So can you give me the information I need? That's all I need. Well, either way, it's okay, because all of today's conversations where I was hung up on, and you're denying the public the right to know, the press the right to know, this is all publicized. So, this court case will be public, excuse me. So it will be public, and believe me, a lot of people all across the U.S. know of this corruption. So this woman will have her right to a fair trial, and she will have a right. I don't even know why you guys are breaking so many laws to cover this up. This is ridiculous. And then you're going to deny her the access to her own court? She's a pro se litigant. It's all right. Just let them know to email us the information to get onto the court hearing. Well, either way, the fact that nobody wants to help us is going to be out there. So tonight's show is going to be really viral. All right, you have a good night then. She hung up or didn't say anything. There you go.
Okay, so tell our viewers what that call was.
She had called the DA. Well, I think that we got where she called the court. I think they got out of order, but she had called the court. No, I think what happened is my husband had talked to Paula again.
Okay.
And she told him that I waived my rights. So Crystal called the DA back because,
Now for the first call we had, the call before this, was that the DA or was that the assistant? Is
That was the
this one the
DA.
clerk? Okay, so that was the DA. So this one must be the clerk then, right?
No, that was the DA again because
Okay.
the
So
court
this is
had
the
told
second
us.
DA, her calling DA second time then. Okay, gotcha.
Right. The court had told us that that I waived my right to the pretrial. But you heard in the first recording where the DA's office said that I still had pretrial. Now, so Crystal called the DA's office back to say, hey, which is it? Does she or don't she?
Gotcha,
And she
yeah.
said that the information from my court was in CCAP. And what Crystal was, she's really upset.
You're right. Yeah, they're contradicting themselves. That doesn't make any sense.
Because of what they're doing, she's really, really upset as well. And what Crystal was trying to tell her, and they knew what she was trying to say. They knew we needed the information to get into the trial.
They knew damn well what you guys were talking about.
The phone number and the pin.
Because they let you believe all this time, and then what they did is they told her to call them back, right? What they didn't tell her was that by calling them back, they in their little fucking sick little games. That she was giving up her right to representation and due process under the law. That they didn't give her informed consent on doing that. That's what was going on. She did not admit, acknowledge, did waive her right. They play these little mind games with their freaking kangaroo court, and it is kangaroo court, law court, which is illegal law, folks.
Why the hell would I waive my right to pretrial when that was when I was going to prove that they've
been pro se for months? They know this. They know this damn well. They know this.
I mean,
they're trying to hoodwink her.
Why the hell would I do that? This is where I was going to prove my innocence and present all my evidence, my child's abuse and that I didn't abduct him.
So let's go to, I think we have the last one right here, which is the 7-minute one that you guys did. I'm not sure, but I'm going to let you, if you need me to pause it and tell you, if you remember, then I'll pause it and we'll tell our viewers what it is and we'll finish it off and then tell them the context on that. And then we'll get into the public record. Yeah.
Hey, Steve, could I make a quick comment?
Of course, buddy, go for it.
The viewers out there, the pretrial conference is when lawyers or pro se litigants like my wife, that's their chance to argue discovery, to get witness lists. It's a very important hearing.
Yes, they can't deprive her of that right. When she's, they're not allowed to do that. It's completely illegal. They can't do that. They're trying to get away with what they're doing. Is what they're doing. Well,
yeah, because when I go to trial, the jury's going to hear nothing but their lies. They're not going to hear my truth.
But that's what they're doing, folks. That people need to understand that the courts are doing, and this is the criminal court, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This is a criminal court.
Charged with 2 felonies and 1 misdemeanor.
Okay, so folks, what people need to understand, this is not just happening in the family courts. This has gone to the criminal courts now. They're fucking in. They're doing this to people. Okay, folks.
Well, they did it to us in the family court for 3 years, and then now they're doing it in the criminal court for 2 years.
Yes. This is a pattern, folks. This is a pattern with this case, with a few other high-profile ones we've covered. This is a very clear, consistent pattern, and we've got everyone.
This is just not damaging. They're taking lives here. They're killing.
They're responsible for so many deaths now.
This is unsurreal damage they're doing.
Just 2 people that were on, the team that I helped train. That we went off to the Sacred Lovisa team. We did that all for that first year. I trained them how to do it for themselves, and now they're off doing their own thing. But long story short, the whole point, 2 of those team members were affected by this. They lost their kids at the hands of this corruption. Their kids were practically murdered. It's just horrific, and one can only imagine what the trauma level.
You hear so many stories like that.
Those are perfect examples right here. People that I worked with I was close to, like family, and their lives have been affected permanently by this. They will never see their babies again.
Absolutely.
And what they're doing to the kid, they're doing that, and then what they're doing to the parents that are trying to expose this, they're trying to criminally persecute them.
Yes.
That's just crazy.
The person ends up in this state when they retaliate and stand up for themselves.
Yep. So let's go on to the last call. I think this is a really good, the best one, because it's so in, there was a lot to cover. But let's play that, and then we'll go into the public record.
I think this is what she called the court.
Okay.
Hello, and thank you for calling the Allegheny County Clerk of Court's office.
Hold on.
I cut off the beginning so that it didn't have that first part when she made the mess up call. It's good.
Good.
the line. Your call will be answered by the next available clerk.
All right, hit record. I got it.
Clerk of court.
Yes. I need the information to get into a court hearing for tomorrow. Let me look up that case number for you.
Is this a hearing for you?
No. I'm just gonna get you the case number. One moment.
Okay.
All right, the case number is it's 2020 and then 0 U 0
That's the DA.
3961. No, that's the case number. I'm giving you a case number.
That's not our court case number, though.
Oh, okay, so you're telling me that 2020 0 U 0 3961 is not a case number? Okay, well, all right.
The district attorney's office. Would you like me to transfer you?
No, I don't want to speak to the district attorney's office. I'm calling because I need the information to get into a hearing tomorrow for Peggy. I could spell the last name for you. Kowalczyk.
Kowal and then what?
C like cat, Z like zebra, Y like Yankee, K like kangaroo.
Okay. And what is first name again?
Peggy. We need the information. There's a pretrial tomorrow for 1 p.m. It's either 1 or 1:15 p.m. It's virtual. Now there is some confusion going on, but that's not what I'm calling for. I'm calling to get the information to attend the hearing for tomorrow. Because last time I checked, hearings did not get canceled and promoted straight to a pretrial. Like, this woman never waived any rights to have her, pretrial canceled. Nobody does that. So I'm not sure what's going on, but she has a pretrial scheduled for tomorrow, and we need to be there. So, and nobody wants to give a straight answer as to is there. Well, nobody wants to give us a straight answer. Like, is there court or is there not court? Like, it's simple.
One question. This all happened yesterday then, correct?
Today.
Today? Okay.
Wait.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is today. My bad. I'm thinking it was the 8th already. I don't know why I'm thinking that.
Actually, yesterday now.
Yeah, in your time zone, yeah, correct. Mine is it's just about a little bit before 11, so.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Tuesday, your guys' time zone, still Tuesday for them because it's past tense. It's still Tuesday here. It will be for another about a little bit more than an hour, folks.
Right.
Yeah,
now
I just wanted to make sure we were on the right. I just want to make sure we had the right timeline for our context.
I will get you up to the judicial assistant, okay? And then she can provide you with all that information.
Well, that's okay. Well, that's not helpful. I still need the information because.
Now she said she'd send her up to the judicial.
Go ahead.
The clerk told her she'd send her up to the judicial office. Now you'll see in the next part, that's not where she sent her. She sent her up to the judge Metropolis, my judge's assistant, Paula.
Okay. So they routed the call straight to Paula so she to keep it so that she couldn't get the hold of what
she told her she
wanted
was
to get
going
to.
to send her to the judicial.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So you see what they're doing there, folks. I want to make that very clear. Thank you for pointing that out. That's very important that people understand that. So yeah. Okay. So that's good to know. All right. Let's continue.
It's like, and it's our right to know we're the public, we're, with the press, and, every time I call, I have them on recording of hanging up on me. Okay,
well,
and I have them. I have the district attorney's office on recording denying the public the right to know if there is a hearing or not. I have it all. But, I told them, I am going to make sure that, this court and this is held accountable. You cannot just violate someone's constitutional rights. You can't do that. And the public has the right to be there.
Okay, are you done? I will transfer you up there, okay?
Well, this is the lady that lied. She's transferring me to the liar.
Branch 3, this is Paula. I'm away from my desk, so please leave your name and number, and I will return your call.
No,
Thank you.
That's the judge's assistant, Paula. Hi, Paula. I'm calling. So there's a case number. The case number seems to be, they're trying to tell me it's in different courts. So I'll just give you the name. I'm calling on behalf of Peggy, and the last name is spelled. I'll spell it out for you. It is spelled Kowalczyk. She has a hearing tomorrow. It is unclear as to if this is actually on or not. It's scheduled for tomorrow. Now, we need the information to get on to the pretrial because we're the public and we would like to know. And so if you could, kindly email us the information. You can email me at crystalden@proton.mail. I need .com. No, I'm sorry, .me. We need the information to get on to this court hearing. Thank you very much. That's it.
That was perfect. Hold on, let me pop this recorder off here.
Did you hear the last lady? She got scared when I told her that I'd been recording it all.
I think she just didn't really... Well, dang. Hold on, let me turn this recorder.
All right, so I got that on the record. We're covering it, so good. This is always good because we're on Rumble. We know Rumble ain't gonna shut us down. That's what I love about Rumble, and Rumble's freaking getting real big too. They're starting to really claim they got as much of a vendetta against YouTube as I do against Facebook. So they're on a mission too, and I'm really excited about what Rumble's got coming down the pipeline because they're really pushing hard to take over and take all the customers that YouTube is once had and is continuing to lose to them. So. Let's go to the public record right here. I got it right here. And then, so where is it exactly on here? And I want you to explain the context there. So where was it at exactly? Where it said
okay,
that?
so if you'll go down to, scroll on down. Okay, so that's my charges, and court record and court activities. See my court activities, my next activities, it shows that's been the latest post. Is my trial dates.
Okay.
And you see that was posted on the that was posted. Okay, and now under my court record, this shows a petition from Julie DeQuain, Attorney DeQuain, which is the DA.
Mm-hmm.
And then below it, it shows where the judge sealed my affidavit.
Okay. I got you.
Okay.
I remember you saying that. Yeah. Okay.
And then if you roll down to the 27th, it's backwards.
It
shows where I filed the affidavit right here, and the affidavit and the time extension on the 27th. But see where they got my pre-trial conference scheduled on 1:30?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, if you'll scroll on down, it'll show that I've been pro se since September.
Okay. So, all right, tell me when to stop. Where it shows that.
Okay. Go on down. Okay, right here. It says right here, I appeared by phone. Defendant does not qualify for a court-appointed attorney. That's when I fired my attorney, and I said, well, I'm not going to pay for an attorney that can't win in trial, so I'll go
there we
with the
go, right there.
court-appointed attorney.
Defendant will proceed pro se. There you have it, folks, right there.
Yep.
Clear and simple. Right
Because
at the
they
beginning.
denied me. They said I made too much for a court-appointed attorney. When do they base that on your income?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They say if you can't afford an attorney, right?
Yep.
Well, how many people have 20 to 40 grand just laying around?
Not many do these days, and that with the way, and you know, folks need to keep in mind, they're intentionally creating situations and putting families in situations to take their kids, to have justifications to take their kids. They are case fixing completely, and it's all completely fraudulent. None of it is based in real, you know, the kids being 80% of these cases are all fraudulent. It's for the freaking Title IV incentivization. That's what people need to understand. And it's and it needs to be shut down now.
You know something else, Steve? There's something else too that shows people I don't qualify for an attorney. Now I qualify for a public defender in that same state. When this case first began, they gave me one. As you can scroll on down, you can see I've had 2 public defenders since this case started. And then I decided to hire my own attorney. Okay. And then they gave me public defenders in Wisconsin all through my family court.
Okay, so here we go. From branch 3 to state public defender in response.
Okay, so that's one. Same income that I'm making now.
Oh wow.
And
now they say that I don't qualify for one.
Yeah. So that doesn't make any sense, folks. There's your inconsistencies that she's just telling you, and then plus this.
Now they say I don't qualify for one on the same income that I qualified for one on several times.
Yeah, they're completely. Oh, they're caught. They're caught in the lie for sure. Go ahead.
Steven, and I had public defenders all the way through to the end of my court.
You know what? They should change the name. They should, as much as they seems to like to change definitions to fit their narratives. They just need to start calling them what they are: public pretenders.
See, the only income I have is my husband's income. So he qualified for a public defender on his income, but I don't. We have the same freaking income.
It doesn't make any sense, folks. It's clearly they're doing
it does make sense, and I'm going to tell you the only sense it makes
is they are trying to
keep me from proving my innocence.
They're persecuting her because she is one of the few cases that actually have been documenting everything, have all the evidence, and has a potential.
Oh well, we had to. We've been in this fight for a long time.
Everybody's going to have to. People need to understand that we can't sit around and afford. And even people in this movement, I see a lot of selfish motivations for things, and we need to stop being that way and stop. And everybody needs to do their part and start helping. And start.
Look, people, walking away from my children is not an option. It's not an option. We all have
to start doing this. We all have to start recording everything that goes on when we have these situations, regardless. Just to do our due diligence.
That's all you can do.
Everybody needs to start getting stuff to record everything that's going on when it starts to happen. You start to see something happen, so we can get it all. Because this is
even though we've lost tons of evidence,
do it on such a
over
massive
the years.
Scale.
Yeah, even though we've lost tons of evidence over the years, we still have so much. I mean, damned in evidence. And that's why these people are working so hard to and they're breaking major laws.
They are.
To keep me from exposing them. And you know what? You got my kids. You're never going to stop me. I'm going to sing till the cows come home.
Exactly. Rightly so.
Well, Steven,
you got nothing to lose.
How many years do you get for extortion, for child abuse, for sexual molestation?
Fraud.
Life sentence, hopefully. You would think that was what we're hoping for. That's what I want to see these bastards go away for.
And that's what you're seeing right now is the cover up of all this.
Yep.
Some of these crimes they committed are chargeable by treason, and that's major, So yes, these people are going to far lengths and probably much further lengths to cover up their crimes. I mean,
God only knows what else, what dark shit they're really doing that we have no idea about. That maybe that's what they're more scared of coming out. So they're doing everything they can to cover up these crimes because they know if we get them on these, everything else will come out.
I mean, you know, shall we bring up Nancy Schaefer? You know, I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It's just, it's everybody knows what happened in that case. That's no secret. They can't hide that one. They tried and they failed horribly, you know, so.
Well, we haven't been a national advocate. This is happening all over the United States.
And I've seen that
absolutely
too. And I've only been covering this for a year, but I've seen exactly everything that I've covered. I flew across country this last year. I went to freaking DC and covered the family rights rally in May. I went to Missouri, and we went to the Jefferson City Missouri rally, and we did some coverage there. And I've been around, I'm traveling now, I'm trying to get everybody. I'm networking with people from all over the country, trying to coordinate stuff. And I've been hearing the same stories, and even in other countries, the same thing.
Absolutely, and it keeps getting worse and worse. I mean,
That's why we all need to get our heads out our asses in this movement and step it up for the kid. That's what we got to do. That's why we're always emphasizing unity and less bullshit and petty bickering and infighting, folks. What are we doing here? We need to ask ourselves, what are our motivations?
We're in this together.
Yes.
We're all in it together, and we are all we have.
They're going after the kids, and we all need to. It's time to rise up and step up.
We the
and do what we need to
for
do.
the people of
by
the
people. On a global scale,
absolutely.
Not just in our countries, but on a global scale now, folks. That's the only way we're going to pull this off, because they're doing this corruption on a global scale. So we have to counter it on that front, and we have to act under constitutional and common law, and do it within those bounds in constitutional law. That's the only way we're going to do this, folks. This is an information.
I mean, where do I go next? I don't know. It seems like I'm going to trial without even getting to present my innocence. And it seems like to me, they're just going to throw away the key without, I mean, if there's nothing there but things against
bullshit.
me.
And they're just pushing it on through. I know.
They're not going to allow the jury to see my evidence. And
well, that's why we need to make sure we can get court watchers. It's going to be in person and in that court?
Well, see, the thing is I don't have a money for a lawyer, and we all know I am not a lawyer.
But no,
I mean,
but what we need is we need to get court watchers there to put eyes on them. Or is it going to be in person, or is it going to be a virtual one?
They said I had to be there in person.
Okay, so here's what we need to do. We need to rally people in your area to get some people to show up in that time and where you guys are at.
We got several contacts that can get a hold of the show.
Okay.
They've been rallying up.
Yeah, we got amazing people working on it, Steve. I mean, along with you and Crystal.
Cool. Good.
I mean, there's just been amazing people step up for us here in the last. I mean, they've really come out of the woodwork. I mean, we hadn't really. This is kind of like a pop-up thing on everybody because everything come out like it did. My lawyer kind of dumping me. I thought my back was had. I thought my lawyer had me. I thought I had this one. He said I'd win a trial. Little did I know. He did not have me. So
he sold you out, didn't he? Really the minute the money ran dry, he sold you under the bus and left and bailed.
Well, even before the money ran dry.
Yeah.
He
wasn't giving you proper advice. He knew what he was doing. He was misleading you.
No, he didn't even ask me for no more money. He didn't even know if I could pay or anything. He just
interesting.
He completely told me he could not win a trial.
Interesting.
He sure did. He said he told me, it offended me bad, and I told him, I snapped on him. He asked me, he says, Peggy, it sounds like you're not willing to take your responsibility of your part. I said, excuse me, are you my lawyer? I said, you know what? I am not responsible for abducting a child.
So your own lawyers are gaslighting you and everything.
Yes,
folks, this right here was a perfect example of what I was talking about when I said even the private lawyers are colluding on.
Yes, he is a top criminal lawyer.
Perfect example. Case study right here, folks. There's your proof.
He is a top criminal lawyer in Madison, Wisconsin. Yes, sir. And he was gaslighting the crap out of me. I told him, I said, no, Preston. I said, I'm taking my responsibility. I said, the responsibility I told you that I'd take is I told him the only deal that I would take is I was aware of that illegal injunction they had on my son.
Right.
I would take what it was, a misdemeanor injunction break.
They
It
had
was
no
a
valid,
family-
no valid. What they did when they took you guys off that base, and unlawfully. That's clearly it shows how
Right.
the depth and and how far this corruption stems. If they were doing it like that, so clearly,
I told him
they're all.
that I
So
would-
what do you do, folks? What do you do in this situation? This is what we do. We back up the evidence. We give copies to unnamed participants that have shit in case anything hits the fan, anything happens to these folks. We will reveal it all, and they don't know who's got it, what. And you know what?
right. I told
We are the vanguard and the last line of defense of people's due process, life, liberty, and prosperity. I truly believe that, because this is an information age and an information war. And how do you do that? You got two groups of people. You got people promoting propagandist narratives, which is what we're seeing with mainstream and all the big tech companies, and even the courts, and God forbid, even the school boards to some degree, and including many of our officials and positions that once were supposed to uphold and protect the constitutional rights that this country was founded on. And so we, the people, some of us in this field have stepped up over the last couple of years to fill that gap, and now that's what we're doing. We're doing the work. So let's step it up some more, folks. We need to take it back, and the only way we can do this is within the bounds of constitutional law and within the bounds of freedom of the press as it applies to what its original intent was for. Which, if for those of you who don't know, is to act as checks and balances for corrupt officials. Any last thoughts, Dennis, so we can wrap it up, and then we'll call it a show. It was a great show. It was about an hour, 20 minutes long. I think we covered a lot of ground, and we proved a lot of stuff.
Definitely. And
we got more coming this week and later in the week and weekend too.
I encourage everybody that's watching out there, spread this around. This is very valuable, I think, to the community and everybody out there. And,
we're asking everybody on who's watching us on social media, any of our platforms, please help us share it out. We need all the reach we can get. We're getting heavily shadow banned here on Facebook, but that's why we're on Rumble and many others. And we're not going to let this stand.
Calendars for February 21st and 22nd. You're going to be live broadcasting. And another live stream show called The Hammer up in Wisconsin is going to be broadcasting as well. So there's a lot of stuff coming up. And like you said, this weekend, we're going to have the police videos and a lot more evidence.
Yep. We're going to be going through the body cam stuff. And will air next time we have these brave individuals who've done nothing but sacrifice their time and their effort to advocate for others who were going through this prior. Now they've been targeted and are going through it themselves, which is completely unlawful and completely just unconscionable what we're seeing occur in our country today. So let's
that's the only thing left to do is get it out there, because there's nothing left to do. These people are determined to put me away for 20 years and to keep my son hostage and abuse him for the rest of his life, I guess. So all I can do is put it out there. And you're right, I'm going to spend until the day they lock me up, if that's what they do.
Even then, you're going to keep the faith until we take these
absolutely. And then if they lock me up, I'm going to keep on exposing them. Then
there you go. Do or die. We're not afraid. No fear, folks. I know it's late.
One more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just for people out there who are experiencing the same thing that we have, Stephen is an awesome resource to get your story out there.
Absolutely.
Follow him, subscribe to his channel, and get a hold of him and give him your story.
Much appreciated, Dennis. Thank you. Much gratitude. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of our viewers. I want you all to know that. So we're going to keep on fighting like we always do. We're going to just keep doing like we do every day and exposing them until we can't.
Anybody that thinks they can help or give good advice, please contact me and my husband.
Absolutely.
I mean, we need all the help, the prayers, everything we can get. Just everybody just put a prayer in for
I know I'll
family.
be putting my prayers out for you guys tonight. Please, I'm asking everybody in the audience, please do the same for these wonderful
Oh, absolutely. You're all in my prayers every night.
All right, we will touch base tomorrow, you guys, and then we'll plan for the next broadcast. Thank you so much for telling us what happened to our viewers and helping us put it on the record for all time. Thank you so much,
Thank
you
you.
guys. We're gonna fight till we
God
can't fight no
bless.
more. God bless.
You too.